उदय आपण चालू करू शकतो.
चालू करू शकतो.
येस.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is fine, fit and fine with their health. In continuation of our webinars conducted by PCSIC for startups, today we have a webinar on the topic of compliance and regulations for startups. We have with us our guest speaker, Mr. Girish Govind Pararikar. He is a company secretary for many years. He is a science graduate with a law background, and he has connection with various banks and financial institutes. He's also handled the IPOs and mergers and acquisitions and demergers of various institutes. So basically, he has a vast experience in finance and in the regulations and compliance topic. So he will be guiding us, and in this experience, he'll be guiding us today on the compliance and regulations requirement for startups. Before handing over to Girish, I will be introducing about PCSIC. PCSIC is basically Pimpri-Chinchwad Startup Incubation Center, and this is an incubation center helping startups to stand on their legs. We are located at Chinchwad in the same premises of Autocluster, and we help startup with providing them the basic infrastructure facility like office space, internet connections, printouts. Then we help them for marketing network. We help them with the mentorship. So a lot of benefits, and since it's a government funded body, this is all free of cost. So who are attending this webinar online, those startups, if you want to connect with us, I will be typing in the chat box my name. My name is Uday Dev, and I will be writing my number and email address so that you can contact me and take the advantage of this incubation center. So without wasting more time, I will be handing over to Mr. Girish for his talk on compliance and regulation for startup. Over to you, Girish. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And at the outset, my thanks for Pimpri-Chinchwad Startup Incubation Center for inviting me to interact with the startup units. Basically, and also it is required for the startups to understand as to what all they are required to do. A lot of times we observe that for some non-compliance that is effected by them, they end up into a very large penalty payment to the government, because nowadays government has been taking very active interaction with the businesses as far as their compliance are concerned. So compliance management has become a very, very important aspect for any business now. And therefore, this becomes an imperative issue for us to understand as to what all we need to understand and we need to do for the startup incubation startup units. Okay, so I also welcome all the startup people who are there. They are all my friends and they are entrepreneurs by their heart. And what do we mean by an entrepreneur? He is a person who is willing to take risk in his life. Okay. So any person who wants to take risk, he wants to do something different than what other people are doing. We call him as an entrepreneur, whereby he wants to contribute something more than what you can be doing by way of your employment as well. So these are the things which entrepreneurs are doing. And for a startup, naturally, there are several phases in which they have to go as far as their activities or as far as their entities are concerned. Let us first understand the entities which are there available for any startup unit. Of course, firstly, there is a proprietorship wherein a single proprietor is managing the affairs for his business. Then there is another unit called partnerships, wherein two or more person join together with a common business plan in their minds, and they share their resources and utilize their resources for common benefit of all the partners in that particular organization. The third one important nowadays gaining momentum is limited liability partnership, wherein the liability of the partners is limited to the extent of the liability of the business, it does not go to their personal liability. The fourth are limited companies, wherein also there are various options available. For example, nowadays one person company has been made available when Companies Act 2013 was introduced. One person company is a company where a single person can also form a company whereby he can take benefits of all the Company Act and the Companies Act provisions, limiting his liability at the same time retaining control on his business. The second one is private limited companies where two or more persons come together and form and incorporate a private limited company which becomes a separate legal entity on its own. Then third is of course a public limited company. We can also call it as a closely held public limited company where there are 7 members minimum and maximum number of members can be anybody, no limitations at all. In a privately limited company, there is a limitation of 200 members at the most. Okay, in public limited company, there is no such limitation for number of members. Now, the fourth and most important thing is the listed entities, public limited companies which are listed on the stock exchanges. Now, also there is one more entity which has been floated recently, means around 10 years ago, which is a SME platform. So SME platform allows small and medium enterprises who are public limited company who want to take benefit of public investment into their company, also to get their shares enlisted on the stock exchanges in India, and this may be called as a first step towards their being listed as a public limited entity as well. Okay, so these are various types of entities which are available for a businessman now, which really gives him a wide spectrum of choice of his own. Now, if we see the pros and cons of these organizations, in proprietorship and partnership firms, the liability of the owner of the business is unlimited. In case of a proprietorship, as we are saying, they can really come to your home and pick up your own assets also, whereby the liability of business shall be discharged from that particular collection of your personal debts as well, assets as well. In case of partnership firm, all the partners become personally liable for the liability of the partnership firm and therefore it is not at all a separate entity from the partnership as such. The partners are not separate from the partnership. They are part and parcel of the partnership. Whereas in case of a limited liability partnership, LLP we call it, the LLP is a separate legal entity whereby there is a clear distinction of ownership and management of the LLP as well. So, same way, a private limited company or a one person company or a closely held public limited company or a public limited company or a listed public limited company, the liability of the members of the company is really restricted to the amount up to which they have contributed to the share capital of the company. The company, as we see, is a separate legal entity. It is formed and registered by a legal process, and therefore it is called as a legal person. So it is not a real person, but once incorporated, it acquires a separate legal status, and it becomes a separate legal entity from the shareholders and directors of the company. So whatever structure is suitable for any business, the particular entrepreneur or particular, you can say businessman, has to think as to what all kind of activities he would like to carry out for his business. If he wants to remain a very small businessman, he can go even with a proprietorship because the liabilities in that event are also very less, they are not much. But there are certain limitations on the growth of that particular proprietorship or a partnership as well. Okay, so if we want to really grow, and growth should be the basis of any business, that's what I believe. Okay, so if you want to carry on a business, then you have to think of growth always, and you have to strive for that, because without that, it is not possible to grow in all the direction of life. We don't want to grow only in monetary terms. We also do business because we get some sort of satisfaction from carrying on our activities, business activities, we say, because we are the people who are generating employment to a great extent. May I just remind you that in India, the micro, small, and medium enterprises, we call it
MS
MSME enterprises, they are the generators of 90% of the total employment in India. Okay,
90%.
90% of the total employment. So in that event, we really cannot undermine the presence of this MSME sector, and therefore, a lot of things, lot of people are now relying on MSME sector. Government has recently introduced various schemes for MSME sector also. Let us see what these schemes are.
I think last time 1,000 crore package was also declared by
Yeah,
government
right,
in last budget.
right, right.
So just to clarify one point, Mr. Girish, apart from apart from this proprietary and partnership firms, all other firms there is no personal liability.
No personal liability.
Only partnership and proprietor has a personal liability.
Personal.
So even one person company also don't have a personal liability.
It is a separate legal entity.
So it's more beneficial. See, instead of going for a proprietorship company,
Yeah.
go for a one person company because it's one and the same, isn't it?
We advise nowadays like that.
Okay.
Because you can take advantage of professional guidance in that, because you can appoint directors in
Okay.
that entity. The directors can be up to 15 in that entity, no problems are there.
Okay.
And you are the owner of the company, so you can really dictate the terms and conditions of appointment of
That is
directors.
nowadays called OPC, na? OPC.
Yeah, OPC.
So that's good. So one person company is also like treated as a private company only. So his owner don't have any his own liability, like personal liability.
Yeah.
Is separate and legal professional liability is separate.
Yes. Yes.
So I think it makes sense to make a OPC than make a proprietor company.
Nowadays, we are severally advising people that instead of going for partnerships, instead of going for proprietorships, go for OPC and go for LLPs as a
LLPs.
structure for your business. Whereby,
But can person change it? Like he has registered as proprietorship company, and now he realized that okay, he can make OPC also. Can he change that registration from?
yeah, he can change the registration. He can bring the business of the proprietorship into the new OPC also.
Okay.
There are some taxation issues in that which we will have to take care of, and then one can convert a proprietorship into a OPC into a private limited company also, with addition of one director and one member only, which we can structure very well, whereby no proprietor loses his control on the organization on a whole.
Oh.
Because people are rather afraid of forming private limited companies because they feel that they will lose their control on the organization.
Okay, but this is not a case actually, no?
That is not the case. We can structure it in such a manner that they don't lose their control. At the same time, they can have a benefit of the limited liability as well as the growth opportunities that are available for any of these entities as well.
And I think I heard that government is now like thinking of the startup required fund. So I think if they want the funds from public to list a small startup, small company into a public limited company, a lot of efforts are required. So I think they are making some easy way for startups, I believe, so that
Yes.
they can list their company very fast on the public.
Yeah.
Market.
Nowadays, setting up of a company has been really made very easy.
Yeah.
I can just now make a company sitting in on my table itself.
Okay.
For a person who is located, say, at Assam or Dibrugarh, no problem. I mean, no issues at all. The technology is making that benefit available, and lot of benefits are being granted to startup units which are in the nature of limited liability partnership or private limited companies as well. So proprietorships are unfortunately not considered to be startups, because in my opinion, what happens, proprietorship means they can really vanish at any time. If you are an entity which is having some registration, then maybe there is some accountability for that entity, and therefore government and all other people are also believing into that particular kind of entity as well.
Yes.
This is what my perception. Yeah.
Yeah, because startup government GOV startup also they don't recognize any company which is proprietary as a startup.
Yeah.
They need a private limited company or LLP company
Correct.
or OPC nowadays.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification. You can continue.
Yeah. So as I said, if I want to start up my unit, the compliance does not start after the incorporation of the entity. No, the compliance really starts at the beginning of the, even before the incorporation of the company. For example, you have to have a clear idea of the business into your mind. This is a very necessary compliance, although this may not be a legal compliance, but this is what is absolutely needed because what really you want to achieve, what is your idea of business, that should be fairly and clearly available and transparently available in your own mindset also as to what I really want to do. Okay, then if it's a proprietorship concern, as I said, your only permanent account number is what is necessary. So you can start your proprietorship concern just now sitting into your room, taking out any name of your choice, of course, which is not competing with any reputed entity. For example, suppose I am a proprietorship concern today starting some business, I can't take the name of Tata's because they are all very reputed and therefore they will challenge my business name as Tata's and they will stop me from doing that particular business activity. So I should be doing some business which is having a name which is identifiable and which is linked with my own activities as well. I can start it off immediately, no problems are there. As far as partnerships are concerned, you have to have minimum two people with you so that you can form a partnership. Partnership requires some registration. Again, here also we require some business plan in mind. What I've observed is that if you have got some plan in mind, then it is easy to reach to that particular goal instead of having no goal and starting something upfront. So that doesn't help. You have to have some business plan, some activity in your mind whereby you can join and you can take benefit of your own goals and your own thoughts as well. Okay. Of course, for us, risk analysis is also very, very important for any business startup because we have to understand what all risks we can have and how we can start that business, how we can take a shoulder the responsibility of the risk that we are running while we are into the business naturally, and what resources are available with us to sustain, if at all, there is some problem in the business because business is not that simple. Business, you have to undergo various cycles. There will be ups and downs in business, and therefore you have to understand that there shall be downs also. In that downs you should be in a position to manage the business very well. You may be in a position to take that risk also. Your risk analysis, your risk appetite becomes very much important for us to understand for that. Now, there are people who say that I will have a plan B ready. I suggest you never have your plan B because if you have got plan B, then you go on relying on that plan B only. You don't ever go with plan A. So, whatever happens, you go with your plan only and strive for it, die for it, do whatever you want to do for it, and do it. That's it. That is the business. That's it, nothing else. So whatever you want to do for that, put your sweat and blood and efforts and whatever you want to put that, put it. Wake up in the nights or whatever you want to do for that, do it. But do your business and be successful
You
into
mean
that.
to say if plan B is there,
Yeah,
you don't execute plan A with full.
yeah, vigor and rigor. Yeah,
So you just say
yeah. So
plan B is always there.
you would never have a plan B with you. Go
जसं
only.
तानाजीने सिंहगडच्या वेळी म्हटलेलं की
Yes,
दोर कापून टाकलाय,
yes.
लढा नाही तर मरा.
लढा नाही तर मराच. So never have that plan B also. Thirdly, think of product quality and your marketing plans, ISO registrations, social media marketing. All these things we must take into account what all we want to do into that. Then think of the what you really want to do and what are your capital expenditure for that particular project that you are running. So one has to think of what plant, what kind of space I will require, whether I will require rented premises, what premises, whether they require any kind of makeups or something like that. Then what are plants and machinery, equipments, computers, communication skills, transportation, then computers, then electrification, air conditioning, furniture and fixture. All these things we must take into account very properly. Although you may not spend much on it in the beginning, that is not required because what you really need is your startup and you really want to start your business. So never focus on expending much on the high things. Go small, no problems are there. Do put your efforts into it, increase, improve it, and really increase the business size. And thereafter, you can spend on all lavish offices, etc. don't ever spend on offices unless it is really required for your business.
And that's the reason in the initial phase, incubation center like PCSIC plays
Absolutely.
in the role. Because
I'm
in initial phase, you don't spend on the office. We have office premises for you here. Once you stand on your feet, then you can fly. You can make a five-star office, whatever you want. But initial phase, don't waste money on the office premises and all networking thing because we already have it for you. So
Correct.
there, this incubation center plays a role in
Perfect.
the initial phase. Yeah.
That is what I said. This is what the incubation center provides you all these facilities for your startup units. So please take advantage of that. They are there to provide you with all the facilities, all the guidance, all the management guidance. Everything is there. So take advantage of that also and start your business. My friends, starting of a business or starting business is more important than focusing on all these things as well. But we should be clear as to what all really we want. Thirdly, we should also consider what all licenses will be required for us to carry on the activities. For example, if you are running a restaurant, then you have to register yourself with Food and Drug Administration administrator of that particular region. So we can't forget that. We can't start off the activity just like that. No. We have to understand what all licenses we will require prior to the incorporation or prior to startup of the unit also. You can't say that I have started now and then I will go and apply. No. Think of it, keep all the paperwork ready for you so that the day you want to start it, you are ready with your applications to be processed at the government departments. Nowadays, a lot of applications are online. No need for you to go to the offices as well. The approvals come online, no issues for that matter as well. Now, if you are a startup unit, up to 10 employees, you don't require shop act license. Okay, there is only an intimation to be given to the inspector that I am starting this particular unit with this name and these are certain details are of course to be provided. Once you give that, then your startup gets automatically registered with the Shops and Establishment Act authorities. There is no need for you to take out any Shop Act license per se. Okay. The moment you cross that 10 number of employees, you have to apply for the Shop Act license and follow all the provisions of the Act which are applicable under the Shops and Establishment Act, Maharashtra, of course, in Maharashtra we are talking, and a lot of rules and regulations are there for that matter also. Once you cross number of 10 in the employee, yes, number of employees in your organization, a lot of other labor laws also get applicable to you automatically without you even wanting you to do that. Okay, for example, payment of gratuity act, then payment of bonus act, okay, ESI, employee state insurance act, they all act become applicable to you the moment you have crossed that number 10. Okay, so if you want to take on that naturally, if you want to grow, you have to go with that and you have to register yourself with those agencies as well and start making compliance for the laws which are applicable to you as far as labor laws are also concerned.
These
For example,
10 people are full-time employees, huh?
full time, not even full
Full-time
time, they
on
say
your
two
role,
people employed, that's it, on your own.
on your role.
Yeah.
But a contract employee cannot be
No.
counted in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for example, Maternity Benefit Act also becomes applicable if you have crossed your number 10. So be thinking on it, what all I will be required to spend or incur expenditure on if I am crossing that particular number. But naturally, that should not be a growth hindrance for you. You may say, okay, I will comply with the provisions of law, no problem, sir, then we will go ahead with my growth plan. So never stop only because there is some compliance that is to be effected. No, I will never advise you. So you must grow, you must be making impact in the society in a positive manner because you are naturally an entrepreneur. You want to do that particular activity. Okay. Also check if at all there are some specific qualifications required for that particular business entity that you want to start. For example, suppose you want to start a hospital as an entrepreneur, naturally you should be doctor, medically qualified doctor. So your qualifications should match with your profession as well to a great extent, unless they are very common businesses. For example, for restaurants or hotels, you don't require any kind of qualification per se. Okay. If you have got a degree in food technology or something, then it helps. But if you don't have it, if you have got skills and if you call it testy, you are producing some tasty food stuff, then no promise. हाताला चव असणं हे जे आपण म्हणतो. If that be the case, still go ahead, absolutely no issues on that. Okay. Then once you are registered, once you have started your activity, my friends, if it's a partnership or LLP, you have to apply for permanent account number of that particular entity immediately. Because without PAN, we call it a PAN, permanent account number. Without PAN, you are literally nowhere in business circles. Okay. Nowadays, everything is linked with PAN. So you have to have a permanent account number established for you. This PAN number you get practically in 2 day time nowadays, 2 days, not more than that. We do it, and we have done it for various partnerships, LLPs, etc., etc. So practically speaking, 2 days at the most, you get the PAN number in your place.
That's an online process. So
Absolutely. So that means
you don't have to go anywhere.
income tax department is really, really very good in that. I must appreciate these things also as well. Absolutely. No problem. Immediately after the PAN is obtained for the partnerships, then the next step, important step, is to open a separate banking account for that business. Okay, even though it's a proprietorship, we strongly recommend that you should have a separate banking account for that matter, so that you come to know what is happening with your money, what is coming in, how is it going out, whether you are making profits or not. It's very easily ascertainable for yourselves, so that it becomes an important tool for you to analyze your own performance in the long run as well.
So current account you're talking of? This is a current account.
Yeah, generally these are all current accounts. For limited liability partnerships, the PAN has to be opted. Partnerships, PAN has to be applied. For private limited OPC and onwards, for private limited, public limited companies, etc. Nowadays, at the time of incorporation itself, the central government issues you permanent account number and tax deduction account number automatically. You did not apply for that. So you have got a PAN with you, you have got a TAN with you. You can even get your GST registration done. You can get your ESI registration done. You can get your PF registration done simultaneously when you are floating your company. So this is what has been provided by the government. But if it is not obtained, you have to get yourself registered if at all it is applicable for you for labor laws. PAN and TAN you are given as a gift. Okay, free. Okay, so no bothers. So you have
GST you have to apply for GST.
GST. Also, you can make application in the incorporation document itself. You get GSTN number as well. But we generally recommend not to go for it because the compliance for GST is too much, and at the very beginning, I don't want them to be burdened with that compliance.
Because up to 20 lakh, if your turnover is less than 20 lakh, there is no GST as such. But still, if you have GST number, then you have to comply with the audits and all this.
Not audits, but you have to file your returns, and for non-filing of return, the penalty is 5,000 rupees.
So even if the GST is zero, and if you don't file it,
it is better. So something like that which is ridiculous in any way, but we can't help it. We have to go along with that today. So what I suggest not to obtain a GST number till the time you really reach to that particular level. Only drawback is that you are a unregistered dealer, URD we call it. Okay. In case of a URD, you are liable to pay GST because your suppliers will charge it on you, but you can't recover it from your customer because
so ITC you can't take it. ITC.
Yeah. Therefore, we have to make a proper weightage of what all benefits I will get out of my supplies as well as from my purchases, and then take a proper decision for registration under GST as well. Right? Then I will also request that for small enterprises, the entity must immediately apply for its registration under Udyam portal. Udyam portal is a portal floated by the government of India, which is a registration under Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act.
So you get some UAN number, na?
You get
UAN number.
You get UAN, correct? UAN, you get Udyam registration number, URN. So, because of this Udyam registration, what happens? Your entity becomes an entity under MSME Act, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act, which gives you a lot of benefits as far as your receipts from the customers are concerned, or as far as your some benefits which are floated by the government are concerned. For example, government has separately kept aside certain items to be purchased only from MSME sector. So they will not buy anything from any large entity. They will buy it only from MSME. So if we are meeting the quality and if we are going ahead with that inclination to supply to the government, where the money is rather guaranteed, and therefore you can really go on supply, making supplies to the government as well when you are registered under MSME. There are various other benefits as well. For example, you can get loans at concessional rate from bankers, although the experience is not that good so far, but government is coming out for that also as to how they will be making, helping people. On top of it, companies are now required to file a half yearly return for the dues they are liable to pay to the MSMEs, and they have to cite a reason as to why this payment was not made. Okay. Also, on the MSME side, you can lodge your complaint for non-receipt of your legal dues from any entity to which you have made your supplies of goods or services. Absolutely no problems. So, and there is an interest element of 12% on these long delayed payments, and the Income Tax Act provides that on the interest that is paid to MSME because the payment was not released in time, there will not be deduction allowed as an expenditure under the Income Tax Act.
Oh,
So the real rate of interest goes to around 15 to 16% for the company or for the customer who is not paying, making you payment well in time, as far as you as an MSME is concerned. So one can take advantage of that also. I will also recommend that if possible, you get registration under Import Export Code, IEC, we
I
call it.
see.
Okay, because nowadays, because of these technological advancements, we don't know at what time any entrepreneur will get an opportunity for supplies abroad, or any opportunity which will be requiring him to import certain material, process it in India, and again re-export it, or supply it in India at a very, very competitive rate as well. Anything is possible unless you have got import export code number with you. You are not eligible to make any imports or exports in India. So we strongly recommend these two registrations for the startups very, very fiercely. Yes, you must do it as and when you really get the opportunity to get it done.
So
Okay.
the IEC code also, I think you get online.
Yeah,
So
they are online. Everything practically is online. IEC code I have seen it takes around 18 to 19 minutes to take. So this is what it is happening nowadays. So absolutely no problem. The processes are very simple nowadays. Earlier I know I used to go to DGFT at Swargate, Pune. We used to give the application in a particular file only, which file one of the vendors used to sell at the DGFT premises, which we had to purchase from him only. Then only give our application. Nowadays everything is lost. So absolutely no problems on that. Okay. Then your registration with STPI, Software Technology Park of India, if you are a software person, okay, software entity we call it. Okay. In that event, what happens? You also get several benefits and you are exposed to an international market also. So you get benefited because you are registered as an STPI, and you are treated as a SEZ over there. If you are registered with STPI also, you can yourself register as a uh, software
officially come.
expert zone. Okay, so that's what you can do, and you are getting a lot of benefits from that as well. So you will be getting a lot of benefits if you get these registrations done. Now you are going with purchase of your assets, okay, and making installation of your plant, etc. We strongly recommend that you should be insuring all your assets properly. That is a although it is not a statutory compliance, but we strongly recommend that you should insure your assets. Also, if possible, take financial liability risk policy for you, and also professional liability insurance for you if you are a professional. Okay, so you should be adequately covered under any of the legal suits or cases that may be filed against you. Okay, this is a nowadays people are becoming aware of what they are entitled to about their rights and duties and all. and therefore we should be also protecting ourselves from any such murky things which are coming up. Second important thing which I would like to point out to you is that we should register our intellectual property.
IP.
For example, trademark is such an intellectual property which we should register immediately, because if you are now a famous person for in a particular segment of trade, then your name is there and anybody can start your business in the same name, depicting your name as if it is your name, which you can prevent if you are having your trademark registered. If you are having a software, then you can register your software under a copyright. If you have got a particular set of actions that you have designed, etc., then you can register your patent as well, so that nobody really copies it in future. May I remind you that Jeff Bezos, who is owner of Amazon, has registered his one-click software as a patent, and whichever companies came thereafter, they have to pay a royalty to him, which is a source of income for him also. So one click was opposed vehemently because people said that they were doing all the way, but he said that no, nobody applied. I have applied, so you should grant me that patent, and he got the patent as well. This is what people should think. We should think of our own wisdoms and our own vision of our own business, my friends. This is what we should be there. Another important thing is about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements, because nowadays if you are dealing with certain companies, certain entities, then they ask you to sign confidentiality and no non-disclosure agreements. So that may also be a part of your business. So while signing that, please look into the liability that they want to impose on you. If at all by mistake also the mistake gets the data gets revealed. Just now if you have seen Facebook, and these people leaked the data of Air India and all other, which was around 45 lakh data. So which is a leakage of data, and you may not be in a position to control that as well. So in that event, you should be having that confidential agreement, and you should say that my liability is restricted to this particular extent only, not more than that. Generally, we recommend that our liability should be restricted to the amount of the invoice itself, not more than that in any event. So these kind of agreements one can enter. At the same time, my friends, if you want to protect your own entity also, then your employees should be made to sign a no compete agreement with you. Okay, because they will learn from you and they will start their own unit later on, which is a problem for you because you have put your sweat and blood into your organization. You have developed certain practices whereby you have grown this to a particular level. Now anybody just comes in, walks in because he knows certain things of you, he starts his own unit, so that is not perhaps acceptable. So you should have that non-compete agreement as well, which is also a sort of compliance as far as I see for the business entities.
So employee joining you, he has to sign that agreement.
Yeah,
Every
either
employee,
start their own,
or
or
at least key employees. Key
yeah,
employees.
right. So you can put that. Of course, the Indian Contract Act says that you should put reasonable restrictions. You cannot put unreasonable or bar it totally, because everybody is free to trade in India because of the constitutional rights imposed on them, given to them. So, but you can put reasonable restrictions saying that for 3 years you will not join or you will not start. 3 years is a pretty long period. In 3 years, a lot of things change. Okay, technology, everything really changes on a day-to-day basis. So 3 years is a pretty long period for you. Okay. Now, if we really go for the compliance, one more thing which I would like to suggest is registration of your entity with a Startup India portal. Okay.
Startup.gov.
Startup India portal, yeah. Why Startup India portal? Because again, there are various schemes from the government which are encouraging startups. Okay, bumper share we call it. Okay, so share should be there. Yeah, you have to be that lion in India. But there are conditions for that. The condition is that you should be innovative in your product. Some innovation should be there. Does it mean that you have to design your own product on its own? No, nothing like that. Even if it's a product which is in existence today, which is existing today, if you put some additional value addition into that and you can call it as a value addition, and still you can register yourselves under Startup India as an innovative product. Okay. Plus, there is second condition or condition of course. You should be innovative or you should be an entity which can generate substantial employment. Okay. For example, I just said Dunzo kind of situation, which is generating substantial employment nowadays. Okay. Of course, we have to think the technological advancements that may take place in future, because a lot of these delivery boys and all these things may be a history. Okay, because
Drone
now
technology.
Amazon has already started delivering the products with drones and all. So we have to take into account the technological advancements as well while taking into account all these things. So we have to be alert on where people are heading to and what best I can do to match, to beat them follow as well. Okay, so startup registration puts you on your toes in my way, in my opinion, and you should register yourself so that you are not complacent in your business. Okay, there is no complacency in business. There should not be any complacency. You have to always think of growth. I have to grow always. There is no stoppage for that. Another important thing which I would like to point out is that we should always have softwares which are licensed versions. Okay, because if the licensed versions are not there, then there are likely that you can be booked under the provisions of the Information Technology Act. There will be criminal prosecutions. There can be criminal prosecutions against you, and the software cost is not at all very high if at all it's a startup unit. Okay, or if that be the case, your product is so important, then you can afford that software also. So no problem. So in both ways, we should have a licensed software copy available with us in our premises. Anybody who visits your premises should be in a position, you should be in a position to show that yes, I have got a licensed software copy available with me. Okay. We can also take advantage of certain of the government schemes with for imports, etc. We can say that I will pay reduced customs duty today. Suppose, for example, today custom duty on certain imported capital goods is 25%. You can bring in the material at 5% of the custom duty payment only, provided you are ready and willing to accept some export obligation against that saving. Because it is a straight saving for you. So your startup can start immediately, but at the same time, you should be in a position to say that entire globe is my market. Why should I restrict myself to India or for that matter, any of my gully only? No, you are not a gully boy now. You are a world boy. So we should take into account that as well. That should be maybe our vision for the business as well. The next important thing is hiring of personnel which are required for conduct of your business. I see a lot of times that a lot of startup units want to do all activities on their own, and in that they lose focus on their own core competency in business. I recommend strongly that you take people with you which are competent enough to manage all the parts of your business, and you should be focusing on your growth of your business.
Delegation is the issue sometimes. Delegate your work.
Yeah,
Delegate.
yeah. Delegate, create a team also. Think of creating team right from beginning. Every businessman, successful businessman, has created his team. So we have
Yes.
to think in that terms as well. You must be knowing the famous saying of Ratan Tata: if you want to go far ahead, go alone. But if you want to go slowly but at a particular pace, create your team and take your team also to that destination. So you must have your team with you always. You can't do all the works alone. So never try to do it. In the beginning, yes, to some extent, yes, you can manage. But the pressure of business are such that you keep your attention onto that, and it may be a costly affair for you in the long run. Okay. Most important thing is that hire necessary professionals. Don't hesitate in hiring the professionals as well, because they will give you a proper guidance. They will tell you what is required, what is law, and they will make you do all these things, and they will ensure that you are compliant person as far as legal compliances are concerned. so that you are not stuck up into non-compliance and thereby making just penalty for the non-compliance. Nowadays, the penalties have gone just up just like anything. For example, in certain kind of returns under the Companies Act, if I don't file my return well in time, the penalty is 100 rupees per day and there is no upper limit, unfortunately. So this goes on and goes on, and if you lose your attention on these compliances, then you are unnecessarily losing your money. Whereby a professional may cost you some $1,000 at the most here and there, thousands bucks here and there, but it really helps you for you to stay in the business in the long run as well. Okay, as I said, your capital in the business should be introduced in a separate bank account, and it should be watertight from your personal expenses, because you can draw, of course you have to draw from that businesses. Naturally you are doing business for earning profits and betterment of your living. That is not at all challenge, but at the same time you should be in a position to understand as to what my business is doing, how is it faring, and therefore maintenance of separate books of accounts, which is also a statutory requirement, is a mandatory requirement. Several people I asked, which is the last date when you saw your balance sheet, and if I am talking to him, say in October, he said that I have seen my last balance sheet dated 31st of March. That too because my CA has brought it before me and I saw it and I signed it. Okay. But that should not happen. You must be careful about your money, your wealth, and of course, thereby you can grow your wealth as well. Okay. This is what I wanted to really talk on compliance. I thought that I will not talk on legal compliance, filing of these forms and all, because you can delegate that very easily to any professional. And in any event, you require that services from the professional for that matter. But these business related commercial compliances, I thought I should be talking to you, because I have seen lot of people struggling very hard for these matters. And I can tell you that Startup Incubation Center, and I am also slightly connected with them for some reason, we can definitely give you a helping hand for your growth. We are definitely concerned and we are interested in your growth, my friends. That is what I would like to say. I feel that my time is getting
Yeah,
over.
thanks. Yeah, covered almost all the things. I just want to mention one thing: financial discipline. What you just mentioned in the talk.
Yes.
So, just you can guide our startups that how can they maintain the financial disciplines, like in the initial phase, especially.
Yeah, yeah. Generally, we recommend that you should maintain your books of accounts very closely. Your invoicing should be done on a day-to-day basis, and your bank statements should be checked once in at least 10 days as to what is really happening, what are the losses that I'm incurring, whether I'm incurring losses only because my collection is not there and I'm paying interest somewhere, or only because I'm not in a position to get cash discount because my collection is not taking place. See, 2-3 percentage of cash discounts if you purchase in cash makes a lot of sense, because over a period of time, if you are really having a turnover of your money, then that 2-3% commission or concession discount translates to around 25% of your profits to a great extent. So this is what is really required for any business to maintain that financial discipline. Pay your installments well in time so that your CIBIL credit score doesn't go down.
Maintain.
So that you are really in a position to borrow money at a very attractive rate of interest. My friends, I can tell you the bankers are willing to lend you money when you really don't require it.
Yes.
Okay. When you really require it, they never come to you because at that time you are in problem. So if you maintain this financial discipline, you can very fondly go to any bank and say, these are my papers, boss, come on, give me loan. And they shall be willing to lend a person like you who has got a financial discipline with his own venture as well.
And the
Okay.
one part of this financial discipline is like if you generate a profit over a period of time, then always keep some part of the profit for your future development and keep some part of it for your content and like liabilities if you happen something.
Generally, whenever any profit, whenever, of course, whenever means when the profits are generated, not whenever, when the profits are generated, we generally say that 5% of that should go into your research and development activity. That research and development can be in marketing, can be in production process, can be in hiring of personnel, whatever. But they should go into that R&D activity whereby your life is smoothened to some extent at least. Okay. Then at least 15 to 20% profits are plowed back into the business minimum, because on that basis you can borrow 100. Okay, so you don't need to spend all of money from your own pocket. I never advise that you should do your business from your own money. No, we never advise it. We always say that we should be doing business at the money which is given to us by the banks, because borrowing is not at all costly if you really manage it properly. Okay. Nowadays, the rate of interest on loans are around 11 to 12%, which is not at all a problem if you really service the loan very promptly and very nicely. Okay. I can tell you, my friends, here that equity is said to be the costliest capital on the earth. Equity. Okay. Equity means promoter's own
Yeah.
contribution.
Initial phase, what you put.
Yeah. Why? Because there is no limit on the greed of that equity shareholder. If you declare a 20% dividend this time, next year he is going to come to you and say that boss, now 30% at least, come on. So the rate of interest really goes up on you. Okay. So and they are always demanding. They are always demanding a portion of your profits. The bank says you pay me 10% and whatever you want to do with your money, do that. I'm happy. Okay. So the bank is that way complacent as far as your finance are concerned. So to the extent possible, do your business with borrowed capital, and of course put your money also, only because that you get really involved and really committed to your business. Banks are wanting to ensure that you are committed to your business, and they want you to success as well as your success is their success as well. So they are interested into your interest income as well as they are interested in your own interests of growth as well. So that is why financial discipline is very much important.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So now I will just open this for the any questions like who are online. If they have any questions for Mr. Girish, they can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask the question if you have, or you can put in chat box.
How do I see that?
I think there is in chat box. There's one question.
Okay.
Go to chats. It says if we started as an individual firm, then I think he says Sarthi has asked.
Yeah. See,
Ashish, you want to know something?
No. This is from
Somebody has
from
typed
social
it.
media.
So I think the question is not clear. If we
Yes,
started
yes.
as individual firm, then
yeah.
so I
Individual firms, we call it proprietorships, as I said. So they are individual firms. So they are of course a part and parcel of the startup in any way. But as I said, for startup registration, etc., there are limitations on proprietorship concerns, and there are certain limitations on growth. But in the beginning, yes, you can start it as an individual proprietorship.
so you can start as a startup, but you cannot register on the GOV website, Startup India.
Yeah, right. You may not be getting registrations under Startup India model.
Yeah.
Startup IPO, when, why, and how. Okay, this is good. Startup IPO means any startup entity which is eligible to raise money from market on a whole. Okay, and they must meet certain criteria before you see. When you are making an IPO, naturally you have to understand that or appreciate that we are taking public money into it. Okay, and as and when you are accepting public money, then you are a trustee for that money. Then you become a trustee. Okay, for that you are a director, and you then go into a fiduciary duty towards your equity shareholders. Okay, then you can plan your startup IPO anytime. And with today also, I can plan a startup IPO. Absolutely no problem. There have been various startups which have gone directly for IPO funding because their ideas were sellable in the market. Okay, so there are no restrictions per se. Earlier there were, you must have three years market standing or something. But now, because of these technological advancements and all, these restrictions are not there. You can go anytime, but we generally feel that when you go with a startup IPO, generally I am saying, generally the premium that you command is not that high. Therefore, prove yourselves, okay? Then command that premium also, and at a very reduced sale of stake, you get more money into your
Because you're diluting your equity
yeah,
with
your
IPO.
equity.
So dilute it at a premium value than diluting at a low value.
Yeah. So that is what we recommend generally.
But
So
can we go on the first year also, like initially?
yeah, you can register your company for IPO. That is also not a problem. Yeah, with a clear mind, I want to start up I want to go with IPO. No
So
issue.
this shares what we give, they are like traded in the market.
They will be listed because if you are going to IPO means initial public offerings.
So it goes to a
Public offering means public should be in a position to trade with it. So you have to list it. That's it. But it's a costly affair. I can
costly
tell you.
affair.
Yeah. It's
How much around cost approximately?
uh, for
Just roughly.
for an IPO of say 100 crore rupees, generally the cost is around 3 to 4 crore.
Crore.
Generally, yeah, I'm saying it's not a ballpark figure, but
And
generally,
timeline?
timeline, if you are really making it really decently, then 2 months.
2 months.
I can complete it. We can complete it.
Okay. From the point of
Yeah.
starting the IPO to
Yeah,
listing the market.
yeah, listing. 2 to 3 months at most, not more than that. We can do it.
That's good. So that's the one way of fundraising for startups
Yeah.
nowadays.
But generally, we recommend that startups should go with SME platform first because then the risks are to some extent reduced. There you have got less kind of compliance requirements for public body, and then you can approach for public
Which
listing.
platform you said? SME
SME, Small and Medium Enterprises Exchange, SME.
exchange. Okay, that's a separate exchange. Yeah?
Platform created by NSE and BSE both.
So there also the share trading happens like normal.
Yeah, of course. Trading happens.
Okay. SME platform.
Limited, to some limited extent.
Limited. Volume is less.
I can tell you, as I said, when this SME exchange was floated in 2005 or 6, something like that, they anticipated that there shall be 1 million entities that may get listed on it. 1 million. So that is the potential of Indian entrepreneurs. That's what we have been saying. So 1 million is that we are big number. Today we have about 6,500 listed entities in India.
6,500 on SME exchange.
Yeah. No. On big exchanges,
Big exchange.
NSE and BSE and all.
Correct. But what about SME exchanges? How many now?
BSE is 65, 100 or 300, not more than that.
Not more.
Yeah.
But that's a milestone that 1
Yeah,
million.
wide scope. That's what entrepreneurship has to
I
be
think
shown.
people are not aware of it. I think.
Yeah. See,
That awareness is a concern.
I was talking to one of the businessmen while I was in Deccan Film coming from Mumbai. I said that this is the kind of growth potential that you have got. And he said, sir, I was really not aware that this is
Correct.
existing
So
today.
awareness is the issue actually.
This is not there.
So I think if the awareness is increased, then possibly more and more people will be listing on that. Yeah. Because in our incubation center also, startups first need is the fund. They need
Yeah.
fund. So
Right.
I think this is the right way. So that's good. So we can also advise our startups for this
Yes,
route.
we can definitely take them to the listing platform also.
But SME exchange listing is also costly.
Yeah.
How much is cost around?
Sorry.
SME listing is also costly effort.
No,
Like if you,
not that costly. As I said, for say 100 crores rupees, then your cost is around 2 crores, 1.5 to 2 crores.
for
Yes,
SME exchange,
around 3 to 4 crores. Yes.
SME exchange.
Yes. But not that costly. Even we can reduce, we can think of some innovations in that. No problem.
And this is controlled by SEBI only.
SEBI.
SEBI.
SEBI. SEBI and stock exchanges come into place over here. Yeah, they are there. Regulators come in place immediately. Now they are coming with some merging of two guidelines as well. LODR, they call it listing obligations and disclosure requirements, and initial capital disclosure ICDR guidelines. They are merging that together also. So they are also trying to simplify the processes as well as the compliance requirements. So we are on that also. No problem.
So anyone else want to ask a question? Or otherwise, yes. So I think good session we had.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Girish. And I think startup has learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
And if they put any questions in the chat box afterwards, we'll let you know, and then we can answer them separately. Okay.
Any individual questions we can definitely ask.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Can I leave?